Number 10. Courtesy of Julius Caesar. The bridge that beat the barbarians.
Caesar's bridge over the Rhine. It's incredible engineering, amazingly executed.
In 55 BC, Rome's greatest general, Julius Caesar, decided to launch an attack on the hostile Germanic tribes. He wanted to expand and secure his empire into what is now modern-day Germany. But how was he going to get his whole army of 40,000 men across the river? Most leaders would simply go around it, but Caesar wasn't going to let anything stand in his way.
Caesar couldn't wait, and he wasn't willing to accept that something couldn't be done. And in typical Caesar fashion, he was willing to try something bold and audacious.
Caesar's plan was an engineering breakthrough and clearly demonstrated the strength of Rome's power to their enemies.
This river had never previously been bridged. This was a hugely ambitious project at the very edge of the Roman world.
Bridge building at that time normally took months, if not years. Julius Caesar did it in a matter of days.
Caesar was trying to cross the Rhine at a point where it was 1/4 of a mile wide. So that's crossing a span that's as long as the Empire State Building is tall.
The Rhine wasn't just wide. It was 30 feet deep with strong currents. These are military engineers in today's British Army. They have modern, high-powered mobile bridge-building equipment. But Julius Caesar had to start from scratch.
40,000 Roman troops start chopping down all the trees in the area. They didn't just need timber for the bridge itself. They also needed timber to create a huge floating crane and an enormous pile driver.
The pile driver would hammer in giant wooden stakes, which would give the bridge stability and allow it to hold the weight of Caesar's massive army. This wasn't a standard method of construction. It was revolutionary engineering. And the Romans were inventing it on the spot. With the piles in, the bridge advanced the length of 3 school buses every day. That's faster than modern engineers can do.
The Germanic tribes were on the other side of the river thinking they were safe, and you can just imagine their horror when this bridge started to creep towards them.
The bridge took just 10 days. It was long enough and strong enough to hold the entire army.
It was a real incarnation of the might that was Rome.
The barbarians actually outnumbered the Roman soldiers 10-1, but they were so intimidated by the speed and the efficiency with which this bridge had been built over their river that by the time Caesar and his troops crossed over, they'd all fled the area. Caesar had won the battle without the loss of a single Roman life.
Caesar was the master of the publicity stunt. He marched across his bridge and said, "Here I am, I can do whatever I want." Then he marched back and tore it down.
The bridge was destroyed, but the point had been made.
It cemented Rome's reputation as a military might more than any bloody battle would have done.
And the bridge was an early example of using piles for support. Today, steel and concrete piles are the norm for making things stable. Caesar and his engineers were thousands of years ahead of their time. Like Caesar's